All right, so straight from Pyramyd Air, this thing ships ready to go. So it came in this really handy dandy Plano bow case. If you've had one of these over the years, you know that they're pretty durable. I've yet to break one, and not even UPS could break this one. So bow arrived, really in perfect condition, no issues with packaging. Inside the case, we have the certified bow technician receipt saying it's been set up by a certified bow technician. And there it is, the Bear Cruzer G4. All right, so here we go, right out of the box, Cruzer G4, um, trophy ridge, 4-pin sight, whisker biscuit rest, little trophy ridge stabilizer on the front of the bow here, just like the one I got with my girls. Comes with a nice little handy dandy wrist sling here to keep that bow kind of connected to the shooter, especially when you're new. Don't really quite trust your grip yet. This little extra security there. Comes with the rubber banded peep sight. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. And came with the D loop already installed. So one thing that I was really impressed with right out of the box, make sure we can see that, is that this D loop has actually got tied in nock points, which is really cool. So if you look really close, you can see that serving in between the D loop there. And typically you'll see that with pro shops that really care about what they're doing. So it really shows that Pyramyd, when they're setting their things up, actually really care, because the D loop, as we all know, is a wearable item. So once this thing starts to fray, you can cut it off, put a new one on, and you don't have to worry about your nock point changing at all. So that really nice added feature there when it came to setting a bow up. But I'm really curious, how well is the bow set up? So let's take a look. Let's get some measurements, and we'll check the draw length. We'll check the timing. We're going to check the draw weight, and we'll get a few shots and see what it does. The first thing I want to check is to check the axle. The axle on the bow. It's going to tell you a lot if the bow is in tune or out of spec. And the Cruzer G4 is supposed to come in at 29 inches from axle to axle. So we'll measure right from axle on one side to axle on the other. And boy, we are right on the money there. Center of the axle, center of the axle. We are shooting close there. So very good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to check is going to be the draw weight of the bow. And to do so, we're going to use the Last Chance Archery scale here. And over the years of using different scales, they've been off from scale to scale. I just think the design of them, I think, just kind of lend themselves to get off tune. But we're going to check it. I think if it's anywhere between 57 and 62 pounds, I'm going to be pretty happy with the 60-pound limbs that or a 60-pound setup that I ordered. So let's give her a check here. Draw length is looking pretty good right just on that first initial draw. So there we go, 59.4 was that first one. Let's check it one more time. Make sure that got a nice even pull on it. And 59.5. So I think we are well within. That's a perfect setup if you ask me. So the next thing we're going to check is the timing of the bow and the draw length, to make sure the draw length is correct. The one thing that's really nice about the Fred Bears is they have their draw lengths numbered. And so if you look inside this little hole right here, if I can get it lined up, it's centered on 29 and a half. And that's what I ordered, 29 and a half. Some manufacturers do like A, B, and C, D, E, F, G, however they label them out. And you kind of gotta go, what's the max draw length? And you got to work that math in. Fred Bear is nice enough just to put the numbers on there, saves you a little bit of headache there, which is kind of cool. So let's get on the draw board. I know most people aren't going to have a draw board at home, but this is something that kind of picked up over the years, tuning my own bows and things. So it looks like the timing is spot on. So what I'm looking for, take you along with me here for timing, is we are going to check where the cam hits the cable. Now on this bow here, you can see there's a big flat spot built into the module. and that hits the cam. You want this flat spot of the module to hit the same as the bottom module, and those look like they're hitting just about on the money. Top cam might be slightly ahead, but looks like it's pretty solid. I think it's pretty good to shoot. The one thing that I do notice right away though is there is some cam lean to the bow, and we'll go take a look at that in a second. Okay, so the one thing I did notice when I was checking the timing on the bow is that the bow does have a little bit of cam lean to it. So in the perfect world, to start out, and some bows kind of have some built in anyway, but I'd like to see the arrow start running off parallel to the string on the side of the cam. But when it's got too much cam lean, cam is pushing this way towards me, right? And it's allowing the cam to rotate this way, right? So shooting field tips probably not going to be much of an issue because there's nothing to overcome on the front of the arrow. When we start shooting broadheads, this might become a little bit of an issue for us, and it's easy fix. This is not something wrong with the bow. It's nothing catastrophically wrong with the tune. All it means is like one of these legs on the yokes is twisted up too much, or maybe the other one's not twisted up enough, and so one side of the yoke is pulling harder, right, on the cam. So this side is pulling harder, and if you tune this out, that's not an issue. But it would have been nice if someone would have kind of caught that when they set it up, so you could make the cam stand more straight up and down, so you can kind of alleviate some of those tuning headaches with a broadhead later on. But not the end of the world on initial setup. Okay, so I guess the question is, how does it shoot, right? So let's shoot it and see what it kind of looks like. I don't have any paper to shoot it through tonight. Just gonna initial couple shots on the target here. So I mean, overall, pretty good. It's a snappy little bow. 314 feet per second, I think it's rated at. So at 70 pounds, 30-inch draw length, 314. Uh, Plenty fast enough to hunt with. This is going to be a quick little setup here, and should be more than good enough to get a deer. What do I think about the Pyramyd Air like touchless setup service? That's like, I guess I'm going to call it that because there was nobody here to help me set it up. I took some measurements, I plugged it in the computer. Their expert bow technicians took that information and set this bow up for me. And I would say on the A B C D E F scale, I'm gonna give this an A minus. Like honestly, this is a really good setup from a factory who no one contacted me, no one touched me, no one was in there to check my draw length and things like that. Um, some things that I checked right away on the bow that I think are critical when it comes to like setting up. One, is the bow in specs? Axle to axle was right on the money. The brace height was right on the money. When it came to cam timing, the top cam was slightly ahead. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, like we're talking less than a credit card length or width, I should say, ahead, which I'm gonna leave it the way it is. So that's acceptable to me. Draw length was right on the money. The ordered 60 pounds was right on the money, and the peep height, surprisingly, like it was really really close. I kind of slid it up just a little bit, but it was almost right there. So I'm really impressed with how this bow came to me. All the accessories appear to be mounted correctly. They're very solid. They're very firm. The rest seems to be put in a good position on center shot. I think this is a great setup from the Bowtex there at Pyramyd Air. The one thing that I didn't like about it when I was checking the cam timing we saw in the video was we have some cam lean here. And the cam lean, is it due to the way the bow is designed? Maybe. This cable guard is pretty stiff. No give here like you'd see on some higher end bows where they kind of flex into the bow a little bit to help alleviate some of that. But, a couple twists in the yokes on the setup probably could have got rid of some of that. And now Am I being a little bit picky? Probably being a little bit picky, because in the backyard, is somebody going to notice that? Probably not. When I'm shooting field points at targets and I'm out in the backyard flinging arrows and having a good time, I'm probably not going to notice it. But when I put a fixed blade broadhead on the front of this and I shoot it, well, that cam lean could cause that arrow to come off the bow on like a off center position, and which is going to allow that arrow to drift off my point of aim. So broadhead wise, it might cause me a little bit of issues later on. If it does, we will. I'll film the process of putting it in the press and just making a couple twists into the cables to fix it. It really is that about that easy, right? So overall, like, I think this is a great service. Thanks Pyramyd Air for offering it. Bow came to me better than I expected, especially this D loop. I'm gonna go back to that one more time. I was not expecting the nock sets to be tied in like that. Whoever tied them in really knows what they're doing. What a great benefit to somebody who's new to the game. You don't have to have an extra tool to check your nock height when the D loop goes bad, because it's gonna go bad. These just wear out. You know, the releases snap on and snap off, and before too long, you have to cut this off and put a new one on. And without the nock sets in the middle, you gotta recheck your nock height and stuff. And it's just an extra step in the process for somebody who's new. They don't need that. So thanks a lot for doing that. That's way above what I thought we were gonna get. So very cool. The one thing I'm gonna say though is I just wish companies would stop doing this. These rubber bands, on the peep sight. I get it, because it's not perfect, and as you draw, it pulls it around and lines it up with your eye. But if anybody has any complaints and you go and you look at the reviews on these things, any company who does this, the complaint is the rubber band broke and I tied it back on. Oh, geez, and it broke again. Yeah, I get it. I've had these when I was younger too. I thought, like, oh man, if a deer comes in, I got to make sure my peep sight's straight. String technology, string building has come a long ways. A good set of strings, good set of cables. You put your peep sight in there, you break in the strings, and it's gonna stay flat no matter how long you have it, and it's gonna come straight back. So in the future videos, you're gonna see this disappear. Um, I'm sorry, I just can't. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna put a normal peep sight in there, and we're gonna go from there. If you're new to it, you're new to archery, you're just getting into it, this is gonna serve you. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Just expect this to wear out. They're gonna wear out. 100 shots, 150 shots. This rubber band is gonna get fragile from being in the sun or just being overstretched, and it's gonna break on you. So if you bought one of these and it comes with one of these, let's make sure you have a few of these on hand, because you're gonna have to replace them. That'd be one thing I wish Pyramyd would do in that drop down menu that we saw for the upgrades when we were selecting our things for the bow. Boy, if we had an upgraded peep in there, that'd be so cool, right? You go, I don't want that. I just want a circular peep. That'd be super cool. But I get why we do it. I get why it's on there. It's a relatively inexpensive peep sight for a budget bow to get into the sport. So I totally get it. But just know that they're fine. They'll get you through. I'm gonna have to get rid of it. I'm gonna put a normal peep sight in this bow. So overall, if you're looking to get into the sport, you don't have a shop near you, Pyramyd Air's probably got a bow in their selection that would make you happy, and they'll get it set up for you and shipped right to your house. And I think you'll be happy with how it comes. All right, so that's it for me this week. I got to get out of here. I'm actually going to the Pyramyd Air Cup tomorrow, so I got some packing to do yet. But we'll see you next week back here at Behind the Curve Outdoors.